It's always exciting getting a new vintage horn. This one is one I've wanted for a long time. A friend of mine, actually, when I was in high school, had one, and I played Koff's Superba 1s and 2s, and also Selmer Paris horns, and I've always wanted one of these things. We're about to see what it is. Interesting, the box was so small, but we'll find out the case fit in here perfectly. A Yamaha case, as you can see, and we have our purple logo, Yamaha 62. The first version of it, there was a second version of this one with a long key guard, which did not have the purple logo. It had stampings instead. So this is the early model purple logo. The purple logo came with 62s, 52s, and 32s, I believe. And of course, the older 61s and 31s and 21s, I believe. And we'll be able to do this. I bought a new neck for it, which unfortunately isn't as good as the vintage ones, I think, because it was hydroformed.
Okay, welcome back. Now we're going to get to inspecting the instrument itself and seeing what you should look for before you even play the instrument, what to look for, figure out what things you need to have repaired. We're going to get right to that. First of all, the necks. This horn came with, as I mentioned, a Yamaha 23 neck. You can tell because this is a folded sheet metal around the Octave Mechanism. Of course, this is a nickel only. And also this brace is just a solid sheet of bent brass. But the thing about the older vintage necks, you can tell they're all hand hammered. You put your finger in here, you can see it's not smooth, and that affects the tone. Texture affects tone because it interrupts the sound wave. And this is one of those new Yamaha 62 retro necks. I was kind of disappointed when I found out that, and I looked inside, it was hydroformed, not hand hammered. So I already know this is going to play brighter than the 23 neck. And we'll put on some Selmer necks too when we get to playing. Well, at least has a nice looking neck, and it's a Yamaha 62 neck. Look at the inside of the neck again. You can see it's nice and shinier in there, and there's a weird seam in there also with the cork area. This is a hydroform neck, always nice and smooth. When it's hand hammered on a mandrel, and you get non-smoothness to it. So this older 23 neck, well, there's some gunk in there we'll clean out. It's going to be a darker player because it affects the sound wave, versus this, the sound wave bounces off the corners more smoothly per se. And this has a texture inside. It's going to affect the sound waves, the higher partials. So I'm going to guess that this is going to play brighter than the 23. Next, we're going to get to the horn itself. First thing I got to say is the owner of this smoked at one time. So we're going to have to disinfect it completely. We're going to do that anyways. But the case also has the smell to it. But you first want to start checking keys. So the first thing is, which I didn't record, was low B flat wasn't closing with a low B, and that was because this little flat part here, you see, it was pushed down. I pushed it up a little bit. Now the keys are working together. But we have problems with interference with these keys here, the C sharp and the B. They're hitting the roller on the B flat. So this is going to have to be bent down just a little bit, usually just by hand, to eliminate that. And we know that because see how both those keys are moving? The B key is going down, the key cup here, and the C sharp is an opening. So we know we have interference somewhere. So we have to look at that mechanism. Let's start at the top anyways. Palm keys seem to work well. Checking the register. Checking the octave mechanism. We see this moves freely. If we hold the G key down, the third one, that opens up the mechanism up here to allow the body octave to open. Holding, so we see that works properly and nice and smoothly. Real briefly, side keys, that works well. That does too. So does the high F, though it's a little bit not free of motion 100%. And that could be because of this cradle here. It looks like it's hitting it more on one side. So we'll make an adjustment to that at some point. Hear this? Okay, so top F, there's a click on it. Anytime you hear a horn clicks like that, you know there's a metal to metal occurring. You'll see this bar here. You'll see this bar here has a couple. I can't see it now. There's a couple adjusting screws on it for the upper stack. This one, first key doesn't make much noise. B flat bis doesn't make much noise. The A, we start getting noise. And if we look real closely, we can see up here in this first adjuster, there's a piece of cork there. Under the second adjuster, there's no cork. And that's allowing the mechanism to open too much. See the key height of this? It's too high. So adding that cork is going to lower it, like right there, which seems to be the position it wants to be at, which would be even with the other keys. So we have to add cork there. That'll fix the G key cup from opening up too much also. Table keys once again. G sharp's working well. B's working well. B flat's working well. C sharp, as we see here, it's actually not opening. That has to do with the mechanism. Kind of hard to show it. It has a spring around it. It has a hard lever that pushes it, and then a spring that allows the rebound. And that's the problem up here. I mentioned interference. So we're going to have to separate the, it's kind of working now by itself, but it's not closing because the interference on the table key, it is hitting the roller. Right up there, it's hitting this roller right here. So we'll fix that. Lower stack. A little bit noisy, but not out of the ordinary. On the F sharp key. We hold down all the keys. Still has a nice pop to it, considering the age. So we really only need some minor work to this. So that gives you a quick rundown of this. We'll be doing some minor work to it. There's a little couple dings on the bell too. We'll get rid of. Nice engraving still there. No real dings anywhere else. It's in fairly good condition. We'll make the adjustments, and in the upcoming episodes I'm going to compare technically and design wise the Purple Label 62 to a Mark 6, and then we'll play test them against each other. Well, that's all for today. Don't forget to thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you later.